And now we are joined by Congressman Mike Bost. He is the representative from Illinois' 12th District. He's also Brad's representative, and he's on with us to talk about the speaker race. Congressman, welcome back to the show. We appreciate you.
Well, Annie, thanks for having me on this afternoon.
You got a speaker yet? Can you break some news here right now? No?
No, we're, we really went through some, I voted for Jim Jordan until he was finally decided that they weren't going to give him the 217 votes that he needed. There we go.
Yeah.
I should have that drilled into my head by now. So also, though, then now what we're doing is this evening we have 9 candidates that are going to come before us, and then we will have a secret ballot tomorrow, and then we'll start whittling it down until one of them, I hope, gets 217. There's plenty of good people in there. Just so you know, I've not kept this secret from anybody on the first ballot, and we'll probably be doing the nomination speech for Jack Berkman. Jack Berkman is a fellow Marine. He's a 3-star general, and right now we're needing some pretty strong leadership. He's the highest-ranking officer that's ever served in Congress. And the reality is we've got to get back to work because you and I talked about this last week. We still have that problem in Israel. We still have a border crisis. We still have everything as far as the budget that needs to be done and the farm bill that needs to get done. And we have got to sit down and quit acting like children and actually get somebody elected as speaker.
You know, Congressman, from where we sit here watching just the snippets that we, of course, get through the media, and we're always grateful for people like you and your colleagues who are willing to talk to the people in your districts and your constituents to tell us your view of it. It feels kind of like we're moving more onto the silly season side of this process than getting to the actual point where somebody's going to be able to get 217 votes.
Right.
Because it doesn't feel to me like the votes that have been taken so much have been simply, I vote yes because I like this person or no because I don't like this person. It seems like there's a lot of other baggage that surrounds whomever it is going to get the eventual speakership. Talk to me about the baggage that exists, what people are struggling to get over.
The baggage that exists is the fact that there was a group that put us in this spot in the first place by joining with the Democrats to vacate the chair. Then you have the fact that Steve Scalise got the votes in conference, a clear majority of the votes. And Annie, let me tell you this. So whenever I first came to Congress, there are certain procedural moves that you're taught off the start. One is the procedural move that if the Democrats offer a motion to recommit, you vote no on that if you are in the majority. And if there's going to be a rule, not the bill, but the rule, then you make a vote to pass the rule, even if you won't be voting for the bill, because it's a procedural vote. Likewise, when you go in the room, like we're going to go in again tomorrow, and the vote is a clear winner, then you go to the floor, and whether you supported that person or not, you vote for that person on the floor. And that is the way it has always been able to work. And the reason it always works is because when you're in the majority, you have to act like you're in the majority. And when you have a slim majority, you have to work together, regardless of personalities. It's kind of like being on a baseball team or any other team. You don't have to like everybody on the team, but you've got to work together to accomplish the goals that you want to accomplish. And that's where we're at. And all the childish stuff and infighting and all of that, leave it someplace else, but let's get a speaker.
We're speaking with Congressman Mike Bost, United States Congressman for Illinois' 12th District. What about the motion to vacate rule? One vote to vacate. Is that being discussed as part of this new process to change?
Everybody's frustrated with it because of the way it worked out. But, Annie, that's not a new single person. I've studied it very closely because at first I thought it was, but that has been the rule of a motion to vacate can be done by any member, but it was only used in 1906 when Speaker Joe Cannon used it on himself to prove a point because it was the nuclear option. And the only time that was taken away was during Nancy Pelosi's reign. She actually went ahead and changed it. And I don't remember whether it was 20 or 30 or what the count was. And then we got rid of that rule when Kevin took over and came back to what was always been, which is everybody can make a motion to vacate. Now, the problem is that in today's world with social media and 24-hour news networks, we have too many of our colleagues that try to get onto, get likes on their Facebook or get time on some 24-hour news network, and they're willing to make foolish choices to do it. And that's can you think about that, though?
Yeah. In
all these years of having that motion on the book, in the rules, no one used it, like I said, except Joe Cannon on himself in 1906, because people thought about what the consequences were of their actions. And I guess we just don't have that now.
We're speaking with Congressman Mike Bost. We have a poll up today on our show, on our YouTube channel while we're live streaming this. And the poll is, who will be the next Speaker of the House? Is it going to be somebody who's currently a representative in the House, or will it be someone else? You think that
it can be.
You think
it can be someone else?
Is that possible? You think that is
Sure.
part of the conversation?
I don't know that it is. I don't think that's the wisest move. You always know it's out there, but I don't think it's ever been done. I guess there's a whole lot of things that haven't been done over the last few weeks, and I guess, anything can happen.
Yeah. We're on an unprecedented stretch of unprecedented.
Yeah, the freshman and sophomore class have seen more of making of history than most of anybody else. That's for sure.
How cognizant are the Republicans in the House of Representatives right now that the Democrats have 212 votes for Hakeem Jeffries?
Right.
They've been in lockstep. It's a very top-down. They get their marching orders. They do. And, some people think that's the greatest thing. Some people think it's the worst thing. But if the quorum changes, if 5 Republicans get sick of this, and I guess decide they're not running for re-election anyway, how much of a factor is it in the conversations that are having right now that Hakeem Jeffries is standing there smiling with 212 votes?
Sure. It could be a danger if we don't get together here and make a decision. I would not make that choice, just so you know. I will be following our conference and voting for whoever, and I always have. And because I feel it's my obligation to the conference. But it could happen that a few of the Republicans all of a sudden. Well, remember, as long as we're working towards a speaker, that their motion to either file or whatever, there's a privileged motion they can go to. But as long as Patrick holds the chair and knows what we're doing, that's another reason why they went ahead and did not go in this weekend, is because the danger of several members that we had that had left town. And I did not leave town, by the way, but there were several that did, and therefore we would not go in because of the danger of exactly what you just said.
We had Jason Chaffetz on in the first hour, and he gave us his thoughts. I'm sure you've heard, a lot of people who are, of course, talking about this and the consequence. He has an interesting perspective, having served before. But I'm curious what you think about the party as a whole. We are more than a year out from the November 2024 election. There are going to be so many big news stories that hit before that happens that I really don't know that this is going to be an impact the way maybe some people are fundraising on the idea that it will.
Yeah. What it does is it gives them a great opportunity to use these WinRed or the other platforms to raise money. And many of them were doing it whenever they're making these motions, right at the same time they're making their motions.
Is it possible from, what you can tell us of what you've heard in closed door meetings and there's a lot of consternation in the party right now. Is it possible this is a healthy exercise and that the Republican Party in Congress will be stronger after this is concluded?
I don't know that would be the case, but I know that we were doing very, very, very good things before this came about. And you've heard me rattle those off before, but we still have a lot of things that need to be done. And so we just got to get back to it. And time will tell, history will tell on whether or not this was something that built the party or tore the party. And right now I feel I don't know about the party as a whole, but it's sure tearing up some very close friendships.
Yeah. Last question before we let you go, and we're really grateful for your time. We're speaking with Congressman
No
Mike
problem.
Bost. You voted for Kevin McCarthy in the initial vote in
Hmm.
January.
Yeah.
You've supported him as far as I can see leading up to this point in time. You didn't vote him out of the speakership.
Right.
What I mean, what is he doing as the person who's vacated? How do you feel like he's handling this situation?
He is the adult in the room. He really is. When he stands up to speak, everybody gets quiet. Well, most everybody, and lets him speak because why? Because he lives it. And here's what you need to know about speakers. Speakers aren't, yes, they're public figures, but remember, they are given this nation's inside information that they have swore to uphold the Constitution, but they also know what problems are out there and what problems are lurking. And once you had that knowledge, because remember, you're the third heartbeat to the presidency.
Yeah.
Once you've had that knowledge, it instills in most of the speakers that I've known over the years a sense of calm that when they speak, most people calm down, and just out of the respect of the speakership, that and he is a calming force in the room right now.
Well, that's an interesting perspective. We are appreciative of you sharing it with us. We're going
Yeah.
to keep bugging you and keep ringing your
Oh,
phone and
good.
talking to your people
Fine.
because we appreciate the inside information, Congressman. Look forward to
Glad to
hearing
do it.
when some progress is made.
All right. Look forward to talking to you then. All
Sounds
right.
great. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Congressman Mike Bost, the representative from Illinois' 12th District, and he's also the chair of the House Veterans Affairs Committee. He's done a lot of great work there, and he's been very transparent with us this whole process, and we're grateful that he focuses and gives us the time